everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Wow, it is day number 4, and I'm here because I promised you that I would walk through the 5 things that I want you to know, to consider before you dash out and decide to buy that expensive mic or even that inexpensive mic, and even better, to decide upon who's going to teach you this podcasting thing. Who's going to get you into the industry? So, day 1, let's just refresh real quick. Day 1, we took a look at wait a minute. I have so many other things to tell you. Let me see. I do not have my banners up. I'll tell you what, I am just so excited about things that are happening in the podcast world for me. But first, it's all about you. Day 1, we started out talking about your why, establishing why you're podcasting, why you want to podcast, why you're coming back to podcasting, refreshing yourself. And then I told you that I always teach my students to be sure to have the backup to the why. And then we looked at the expectations, the emotional and the financial expectations. Then yesterday, we looked at your interest. Do they line up with your podcast or what you say that you want to have as your podcast content? Does that stuff line up? No right, no wrong answers. As I said from the very beginning, the only person that can answer these questions are you. So then today, we are going to take a look at your relationship with podcasts, okay? I'm going to give you a few stats because you're going to find that you are closely aligned to someone's dream listener. So if you are closely aligned to and have a relationship with someone who's built a podcast, trust and know that your avatar, that your listener is waiting for you also. So first of all, let me start out with the stats. I think that, some people say stats, oh my goodness. But as a podcaster, you pay attention to these stats. And when I looked at some of these brand new ones, I had to kind of think, okay, October, November, December, those are the months that I'm going to really get with my strategist, and we are going to look at what went right this year, what we can tweak, and looking at some of these stats, I'm going to be making some tweets. But do know, and I said in the workshop last week, the blue ocean, I still know that podcasting is a blue ocean. Whatever you have as content, there are people that are ready to find you and, yes, to buy from you. Do know that. It's not a red ocean. There are a lot of people podcasting, but you know what? They don't have your presentation. They're not coming across with your energy. All right? They are not you. Whatever subject you are presenting to the masses or you propose to present, those folks are not coming across like you. What's your level of energy? And when I ask you, what is your relationship with to podcasts? Do you listen to podcasts? What kind of podcasts do you listen to? Are they the crime-solving podcasts? Are they the culture? Are they dealing with talk, interviews, that type of thing, news, comedy? Where you fall into your favorite podcasts? I myself, I'm into self-development. I believe that because I'm in that season of where I'm definitely always striving to tweak this and tweak that, add this or get rid of that. So Elaine Fluker's Support is Sexy has always been one of my favorite shows, even though I recently just learned that you can't do it all. You're going to get all foggy and muddled up, and all kinds of things are not going to go right for you if you try to do everything alone. And you're going to mess up the depth and the richness of a collaboration if you try to do everything by yourself and you don't plan it out. So what do you listen to? I digress a little bit. So your relationship with a podcast, what do you look for? in a podcast? When you listen, do you come away saying, I can do that? Um, I can present something like that? Or why don't they introduce this kind of information? Or maybe that doesn't need to be a monologue. Maybe that show, I can see doing that show and actually bringing on guests. What's your relationship with podcasts? Right now, while you're thinking about becoming a podcaster, I want you to go over to Apple and actually just go into, you know about your interest because we already did that. What is your interest? So go to Apple, seek the category that has your interest, be they business or culture or self-development, wherever you fall. Go to that category and start listening to some podcasts. Find some 2 or 3, 4 or 5, and just listen to them. Do they pique your interest? Do they make you want to? Do they make you want to get into the industry? I hope that they do. So what I'm saying is, find out who's doing what you want to do and pay attention. Okay, join in, get a relationship. And you know what? Podcasters really, really are relational. And when we get feedback or get questions about an episode from a listener, it's like, oh my goodness, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is so wonderful, you know? So if you really want more information about how that person feels, about that podcaster feels, about their product, their subject, how they're doing it, just ask, reach out to them, because you are building up on something that is going to lead you into your next. And that's getting information, and that's getting a relationship with podcasts. All right? So I promised you some stats about podcasts in case you think that this stuff it's just a flash in the pan. It's gonna go one day or another. Nope, it's not. And these stats come from what's going on here in the United States. Slow down, Margot. I want you to know that 22% of the podcast fans listen to over 22 hours of podcasts per week. I'm about there with them also. You know, when you can listen to a podcast while you're commuting to work, some of us are back in the office, while you're washing dishes, while you're vacuuming, while you're out on that much needed walk, which is what I'm going to do after I finish this live stream. There are so many opportunities to get in some podcast listening. 22 hours per week, and 22% of the United States population, we rack up 22 hours of listening to podcasts per week. Tell me that your avatar, that your customer, your client is not in that 22%. I beg to differ. Listen to this. As of 2021, I want you to break this down to your age group. As of 2021, 56% of podcast listeners were between the age of 12 and 34. 39% between the age of 35 and 54. 26% age 55 and up. That's my demographic. Really, the 35 to 55%, that's my demographic. So what is so amazing and fills me with glee concerning this 55% and up is that in 2020, we were at 22% of the listenership of podcasts. We took a huge leap to 26% in 2020. So that tells me, we in 2019, we were down at, 14%. And here in 2020, we are at 26%. That lets me know that when we see the stats about who's listening and the age brackets are broken down, this is real stuff. People are catching on. We as podcasters are feeling the educational need that people are looking for, the need to learn something, how to, because many of us are posting our podcasts over on YouTube, and we are just feeling the need, the gap, the inspiration, the information, the how to information that people are looking for, and people are finding that in podcasts. I had a conversation with someone last night, and he played devil's advocate. He said, my parents are just learning how to text. What about the people that don't know about finding a podcast? I said, very simple. Once you find what you like, then you subscribe, you follow. It's going to continually come up on that feed on Spotify or on Apple or on your phone. So all you have to do is learn one thing one time, do it one time, and you're in there. So when we look at who's listening to podcasts, we all are pretty savvy. It's savvy enough to find our podcast and to secure it so that we have access to it every time it comes up. So I'm encouraged by these stats. I really, really am. And as far as if we are entrepreneurs, let me fold my thing down here. If we are entrepreneurs and we are dealing with everyone on an international basis, I thought that United States was just leading the pack as far as listenership, but boy, oh boy, did I find out I'm so wrong. South Korea is leading the pack in listenership with 58% of their podcasts listening to podcasts each and every month. 58%. South Korea, how you guys doing it? And then we have Spain, Ireland, Sweden. So, it's this podcasting thing is fabulous. It will deliver you before your clients. It will deliver you before those who you have a message for. Those folks that you wrote your book for. It will deliver you before those people. So please do not sleep on the power of podcasting, because I would venture to say it has begun and it ain't going nowhere. I'm so glad about that. And if you are a entrepreneur, as I am, there are some stellar podcasts that I want to let you know. You really need to go ahead and subscribe these podcasts, because they will help you grow your podcast. They will help you grow your business. They are strictly business. So, Accidental is a Accidental Creative. It's a podcast that I ran upon, and it's focused on the creativity, the creative community. So we can be in business, but let's not forsake our creativity. How do we merge that so that we are successful? Generating new ideas. Man, don't we all need to generate new ideas? Accidental Creative. It's focused on creativity and generating new ideas. I really think you need to check into that if you are an entrepreneur. And entrepreneurs, all this week, we're on day number 4, but I've been telling you that you need to go ahead and make sure that you connect a podcast to your business. I'm telling you what I know. And let me just, before I give you, there are 2 other podcasts that I really want to, if you are an entrepreneur, 2 other podcasts that I want you to be sure to visit and eat, drink, sleep that information. But before I tell you those other 2, I want you to know that a podcast, do not feel as though you have to produce content every day. You don't even have to do it every week. If you are a CPA or you are a bookkeeper, do know that you can do a seasonal podcast. You can do 4 or 5 podcasts that are going to answer the questions of those who have information, those who need your information. And I was very transparent. I told everybody about my tax thing, my tax run-in, and how I am so grateful for a CPA. So if you are in that profession, there are things that business owners need to know. There are things that we don't know. We're coming from a consumer mindset. We are coming from an employee mindset. We are coming from a 1090 mindset. There are things that we just don't know, and it's getting us in trouble. If you can go ahead and craft out a FAQ that is going to answer most of those questions and lead them into them needing your help, then you could put that out in a newsletter. You could go ahead and put that out as part of your signature on each and every email. That could easily be converted to a ebook. I mean, there's so much that you can do with just one application of a podcast. Do it seasonally. We're coming up on the Christmas season. I'm about to turn my live stream into a boutique. I am opening up the doors to those who are authors, to those that have products and services, and you want the world to know what they are. Put it up under one umbrella, and each and every week, I'm going to go ahead and talk about those folks, their business. And I can't hold this to myself. I am working in collaboration with another podcaster so that the reach is expanded, you know? So we do these type of things as a season. We do these type of things as we can. Everybody's not up to doing something every week or even every day. God bless you if you're able to put out a podcast every day. Insurance people, what are the things that we need to know? We don't have these conversations. What do we need to know? Come up with a podcast so that we know we are educating ourselves and that education leads us back to you. I think you get you get my picture. Okay, back to some business podcasts that I know that you can greatly move your business forward by listening to these podcasts. And no, I'm not an affiliate. I'm just an admirer of their work. And I know that as an entrepreneur, you don't want to listen to everybody. You want to listen to folks that know what they're talking about. Okay. Of course, we know Marie Forleo, the Marie Forleo podcast, how to run your business and market yourself. This woman's been in the game a long time. So the Marie Forleo podcast, and she's all about running your business and marketing yourself. And then Do Weekly. Someone told me, you need to take a listen to them, and Do Weekly. It focuses on one challenge a week. One challenge a week. It's a task that you can undertake that is going to move the needle in your business. Maybe you need to consult with a bookkeeper. Maybe you need to take another look at your branding. Maybe you need to reach out to someone and begin a podcast to help your marketing process, your marketing campaign. But Do Weekly, it's different, and I like it. So, what's your relationship with podcasts? That's what's up for today. It's day number 4, and tomorrow I cap it all off with opening up to you about podcastacademyonline.com. All right? That's what I'm all about, is teaching people how to imagine, how to build, and how to launch their podcast. We wait until I waited until I thought I was ready, and then I didn't know that I was ready, had been ready. We let procrastination, we let fear, all those things that inhibit us moving forward. We use excuses like, I don't have time. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you that when you launch your podcast, you get visibility, and you never know who's watching you. You never know what opportunities you're putting on the back burner because you didn't take time to look at the man in the mirror and answer the questions that I have for you that I've put out these last 4 days. You didn't take the time to answer them and then apply them as you see fit. Apply them as you know that it's your time. This is your time. Are you going to wait until the podcasting industry gets into the red zone and everybody and their brothers there, and you're fighting like crocodiles to get before your peeps? Is that what you're waiting for? You know, yesterday was too late as far as this podcasting thing goes. I mean, I started as this is what I do in 2017, but man, I wish I had have just really got bone straight and all the way in, feet first, head first, back in 2012 when I learned how to do this stuff and had was over there on Live 365. I wish, but you know what? I was still in corporate, and it was just a hobby, and I did not have the foresight to see that and know that people watch you when you have a podcast. Yesterday, I asked you guys, those that will, to go ahead and help catapult the A Joyful Heart project, catapult that to bestseller status. And I am so grateful and thankful to say thank you. Sheila Farr says, A Joyful Heart, Reflections of Grace, Gratitude, and Praise. It came into #1 bestseller in Christian self-help yesterday. So I thank you. I thank you. Sheila reached out to me. She was a guest on my podcast, and I'm not one to go and do a lot of anthologies. I've done some, and they're awesome, but it was not on my mind to do that. But when she approached me, I said, man, I have so much to be grateful for. And my heart is overflowing with joy. For one, I'm doing what I want to do. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm a podcaster. All of these things are working out for me. It's a challenge, but it's working out for me. And yeah, I do have joy in my heart. So I prayed, and next thing I know, I'm doing this project, and A Joyful Heart, Reflections of Grace, Gratitude, and Praise. It's #1 bestseller in Christian self-help yesterday. And believe you me, there's not 30 or 40 authors. I was checking because I didn't really know. I didn't really care how many authors were a part of it. But when I got my copies, I thought I saw how many people were involved, and there's not 30 or 40 people to push that needle. So we are authors who believed in this anthology. We believed in getting this out to the world because, man, don't we need some joy and some praise, and don't we need to show gratitude in this world? I had COVID, came out of it without any residuals. You just better know I am grateful. So, that's what happens when you are a podcaster. People seek you out. I've been doing collaborations. Hey, podcasters, all this month, been working in collaboration with WOML, WOM Lead Magazine. I'm on the cover with some stellar OG podcasters because I decided to podcast and consistently just stay out there. It's all about the media. And I'm just going to tell you, because I'm overjoyed, late last night, I had conversation with a casting agent who's looking at podcasting, my show, and what that can mean for to be on an ABC affiliate. So I'll get more details about that. I'm still in the running, you guys. I'm still in the running. So make it or not, make the cut or not, just to be considered as a podcast instructor. These people sought me out. I am grateful. I am grateful. And, that's all I'm going to say about that until it just comes on around full circle. I say these things to let you know that when you say yes to podcasting and you get out there, you do your best work, and you make your mistakes, and you make your uhs, and you fumble. I noticed in the playback all this week, the camera's been freezing. I don't know. The live stream's been freezing. Who cares? You keep on going. You noticed I'm back every day, and tomorrow I'll be back finalizing 5 things I need for you to know about podcasting before you buy that camera. So I shared some good news with you, and I shared some thought provoking news with you. I say thank you, thank you, thank you so very much for hanging out with me, for the replays, for the comments. I thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'll be back tomorrow. I'm Margot Levette, podcaster and the creator of Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation, the live stream Business Card Radio with Margot Levette, and I am the founder and the instructor at Podcast, excuse me, Cream in My Coffee. I teach that at the Academy. Podcast Academy Online.com. You curious about what's going on over there? Podcast Academy Online.com. Go on over. Take a look. Okay? Check us out. You're going to be glad that you did. I'll be back tomorrow. Like I said, I will be back. And let me get my banners up. I will be back. And we are going to end this session. But you know what? So many people, the reactions have been so great and there's so much information to impart. At least once a week, I'm going to come back with a live stream giving you information about what's going on in this great big world of podcasting, okay? The industry is waiting for you. It is so alive. So I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for listening. If you catch me on the replay, be sure to say replay. All right. Bye-bye now.